So this is probably a short little video, but I just want to throw out some advice to people, and it's kind of two-step advice. Step number one is learn to ask yourself this question prior to doing it. That's step one. Step two is, here's the question: should I tweet this? And the answer is no. Hey everybody, this is Perch. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, I've got Twitter and I need to fill it with content because I'm seeing my friends, tweet about all kinds of things, and I would like to be part of that party, so I would also like to tweet. But the answer is no, you should not. Now, you know how back, like 15 years ago or so, at least, it feels like, people would go onto MySpace and Facebook and they would post pictures of their cats and their food. And remember how we all thought that was really stupid? Well, as it turns out, that was brilliant. So what you should do with your Twitter is just post about animals and food. That's just do that. In many ways, Cebulski has it right. Just focus on pictures of your food. And by the way, pro tip, when you're taking pictures of your food at a restaurant, tilt the camera a little bit so you get the plate and not your crotch. You're trying to get the food in the shot, not your crotch, just the food. And with your cats, same thing. If they're on your lap, move them off of your lap, take the photo. Nobody wants to see your crotch. At any rate, that's good, safe stuff to post. Now, you may be saying to yourself, that sounds like old person stuff. Because my grandma, she's posting pictures of her cats, and cool. She's got it right. I know it's weird. It's weird to think that the older generation has it right, but you just shouldn't tweet. When it comes to comics, there's a lot of stuff that gets tweeted that is just stupid. And at a senior level, when you're a pro, a big-time pro, your name is well known. If you're a Gail Simone or you're a Scott Snyder or you're a whatever it is, you are probably going to be able to tweet inane, crazy shit, and it's okay. Nobody's really going to care because you've got your big name. They're just going to look at that and go, that guy's wacky. And chances are, if you're successful, you're probably not tweeting much anyway. Just fairly, probably so. But if you're up and coming, and when I say up and coming, I don't care if you are a New York Times published author. I don't care if you've won an Eisner at one point in your career. That's great. I care. I care because good for you. You won this award and you should be proud. But at the same time, that is not a shield to posting stupid things. And when I say stupid things, I know so much YouTube goes to people who post about politics or do I like Trump or not Trump and anything else. And that's one thing. But dumber is stuff that actually exposes you for being a rube. And a good example of that might be, you're posting all things that came today. You're posting about somebody else in the industry who's got bad breath and how that bad breath is really turned you off. Or you're posting about the time that you met this female coworker and she seemed kind of slutty. And don't post that. Don't tweet that. Just don't. So again, I'll just keep reinforce the advice. Before you type, ask yourself, should I type? And then answer yourself, no. And just stop at that point. That's safe advice always. Another thing, should I retweet that? So here's an interesting phenomenon where you get one dumb person and they write something like, I like to, pirating is great. Everybody should pirate. And then like a few minutes later, they write, buy your comics. So those two things don't go together. But I'm always amazed, not just at the fact this person did not ask themselves, should I tweet this? And did, but also at the retweets. You look over there and it's like 18 retweets. And you're like, wow, who's the stupid person who retweeted this? Now, granted, some people are retweeting it with the caption, look at this idiot. And that's fine. That's kind of a cautionary tale. I get that. Still kind of breaks the rule. It's not about food or pets. But, sure. But when you retweet this stuff like, yeah, this is great, or you leave no comment, you just retweet as is, then it's kind of like dumbing off on a dumb person. So it's like you got a chain of stupid starting to form. And sometimes in Twitter, you see huge chains of people just continuing to feed this dumb jerk process, and it is good. So I say this because oftentimes there's people who are trying to come up in the industry, want to sell their comic, and occasionally will complain about things like, I don't have any money, nobody will buy my artwork, nobody is giving me a job. Maybe you tweeted like, hey, would anybody like to give me a job? I would like to do a job. And so, any of these things could happen. But if this is you, don't simultaneously post about that you find, somebody was posting that they find that little like stuff that sometimes forms in your toe, between your toes, like mold, whatever it is. It's not me. I wash myself. I bathe. But other people apparently don't wash their feet, and they get like whatever that grime is that gets between the toes. And it's like, I don't know about you guys, but this stuff smells pretty good. And I'm reading that. I'm like, I wouldn't post that. Like, you shouldn't post that. Don't post that. That's not something for you to post. But all the same, maybe people are bored. Maybe they want to overshare. Maybe they're hoping for a reaction. Maybe they just want to inflict vomit on other people. I'm not sure exactly what gets people there. But, in so many ways in life, if you're a comic artist or creator, you need to learn some art drawing fundamentals, maybe some writing fundamentals, how to do a pitch, make sure you spell right. Those little red squiggly lines that appear on the document, that's an indication you spelled something wrong, so you should look into that. These are all good things for you to kind of learn. But at the end of the day, the best piece of advice is don't put your foot in your mouth, especially if it's got that weird gunk in there. Don't put your foot in your mouth. Don't tweet. Just don't. I know the advice of just delete your Twitter is sometimes thrown out there. It's not the worst advice. If you are not able to kind of put material up that's going to help you look bigger, grow your career, consider if you should have it at all. Twitter's not paying you. So if you're not getting active value benefit from it, consider just getting rid of it. Or, again, simple advice, food and pets. Food and pets. That's easy. Food, pets. If you want to get kind of fancy with it, you can also post photos of things you see like around yourself, nature and trees and buildings, but just be careful. Like, for example, if you see somebody who is passed out on the side of the street, or maybe you live in a metropolitan city and you stumble across the person urinating on the side of a building. Don't take a photo of that. Just keep walking. That's what you're supposed to do. Just keep moving. You don't need to take a photo of that. If you do take a photo of that, don't make it a selfie with yourself in the foreground and the guy peeing in the background. You don't need to do that either. But thirdly, if you did take the selfie of the person peeing in the background, don't post it on Twitter. Just don't. It's not going to help you. You're not going to get work off of this. Yes, it may make a couple of your buddies chuckle. And yes, maybe a couple of your buddies can get you a job in comics, but it's not a good job. You're not building any kind of value for yourself. It's just say no. Just say no, like they say. Anyway, this is a public service announcement. Don't tweet. Just don't. Just decide not to share. You have lots of ideas in your head. I have lots of thoughts in my head all the time. You can keep them to yourself. Even with all the videos I do, and I put way too much content out a day, I recognize that. It is a problem, 3-step process. There's a lot of things that don't make it into videos. Sometimes I start a video, I get like 2 minutes into it, and I'm like, oh, this is going nowhere good. So I just stop it, erase, and I don't continue. Some might argue that this video should have had that happen. But just consider not saying anything. You don't have to say everything that comes, you don't have to say every thought that comes to your head. You don't have to. You can just not. Consider it. Anyway, that's my advice for you. Is it good advice? Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Unless they're stupid thoughts. In which case, don't put your thoughts. But most of you have very good thoughts. But if you don't have a good thought, if you're going to share something that potentially might incriminate you later, consider posting a picture of your food. And if YouTube won't let you do that, just post a link to some food. That could be a good thing to do too. Anyway, follow me on social media, all that kind of stuff. Thanks for listening. And just don't tweet.